Li Yan, a young man with an extraordinary ability to read minds, teams up with his friend Yi In to solve mysterious cases. What thrilling mysteries await them? Let's find out in today's review. The film opens with a flashback to Li Yan's childhood. He's living with his parents in a small apartment building. Young Li Yan is throwing a tantrum, demanding a puppy and a younger sibling. To appease him, his parents take him out. Simultaneously, a brutal massacre unfolds in the adjacent apartment. The killer ruthlessly murders 4 victims, staging the scene to look like an accident. They cut gas lines and activate the microwave to ignite a fire. Just as Li Yan's family enters the elevator, the apartment building explodes. The elevator malfunctions, becoming trapped and impossible to escape. The fire spreads rapidly, causing panic and chaotic evacuations among the residents. Fortunately, a security guard discovers Li Yan's trapped family and rescues him. However, the elevator cable snaps, sending Li Yan's parents plummeting to their deaths. By the time firefighters arrive, the building is engulfed in flames. The smoke overcomes Li Yan, causing him to faint. Luckily, a high school student discovers him and bravely carries Li Yan down from a high floor. They land on a car, miraculously surviving the fall. Before losing consciousness, Li Yan catches a glimpse of his rescuer's name, Sung Mo. From this moment, his psychic abilities emerge. Years later, Li Yan, now grown, frequents the morgue. He touches the body drawers, honing his abilities. His psychic power allows him to see the victim's past and the circumstances of their deaths. Today, he's summoned by 2 investigators to assist with a case. They ask Li Yan to use his abilities on 3 charred bodies. As he activates his power, images of the night of the murders flood his mind, along with numbers and clues that he relays to the investigators. After much deliberation, they realize the numbers represent the victims' underwear sizes. An exasperated doctor wants to give the kid a good thrashing. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. It's prosecutor Sung Mo, called in to assist with the investigation. Sung Mo is the same person who saved Li Yan in the fire years ago. The 2 doctors try to distract Sung Mo, but he quickly notices something amiss. Li Yan is hiding in a body drawer, waiting for an opportunity. Sung Mo tricks the 2 doctors into leaving and locks the door. He finds Li Yan in the drawer. Li Yan tries to atone for his intrusion by recounting the evidence he psychically perceived. However, Sung Mo is uninterested and shoves Li Yan back into the drawer as punishment. Inside, Li Yan's contact with the drawer brings visions of the corpses flooding his mind, causing him to panic and beg for mercy. But Sung Mo simply smiles, leaving Li Yan to faint. Sung Mo later interviews a witness who saw the events at the hospital that night. The witness reveals the killer was a woman with a mental illness who murdered the victims and then set the fire. At the meeting, the police and the prosecution conclude the case was the work of the mentally ill woman. However, policewoman Yoon Jae-soo finds similarities between this case and the apartment fire years ago, prompting her to request further investigation. This angers her father, Police Chief Byung-ho. Meanwhile, the female lead, Yi In, moves with her aunt to a new residence. While changing in a department store, she discovers someone peeking through a hole in the wall. Sensing something is wrong, Yi In investigates. Looking through the hole, she makes eye contact with a voyeur, terrifying both of them. Yi In chases after him, but loses him. At that moment, Li Yan, on his way to school, accidentally bumps into the voyeur. The physical contact allows him to see the man's past misdeeds. Coincidentally, Li Yan is wearing clothes almost identical to the voyeur's. While on the phone with his best friend, Li Yan is unknowingly filmed by Yi In, who mistakes him for the voyeur. She even accidentally records the part where Li Yan mentions his past ability to sense underwear sizes. This evidence is enough for Yi In to confront and publicly accuse Li Yan. Li Yan recalls a memory fragment from touching the voyeur, seeing a fleeting image of Yi In. He claims he never saw her in the restroom, but Yi In never mentioned that detail. With the overwhelming circumstantial evidence, Yi In kicks Li Yan in the groin. As Li Yan reaches to support himself, the touch allows him to see Yi In's past of being bullied by classmates. However, his prolonged hand holding leaves no room for denial. and Yi-in drags him to the police station. Officer Jai-soo bails him out. She scolds him for constantly finding trouble, but Lee-in boasts about using his psychic abilities to overcome any obstacle. Meanwhile, at school, the teachers hold a meeting to decide whether to expel Lee-in. Ironically, he's unexpectedly jumped from last place to the top 5 in his class. His unusual late nights and early mornings lead the school to suspect him of cheating on exams. Upon arriving at school, his friend informs him that the math teacher is looking for him. At the same time, Yi-in arrives. She's a new student in Lee-in's class. Lee-in goes to find the math teacher, but doesn't recognize him. Yi-in, seeking revenge, plans to show the teacher the video of Lee-in's voyeuristic behavior. Lee-in stops her, but before he can explain, the teacher drags him in for a reprimand. The teacher suspects Lee-in of cheating. In reality, Lee-in used his abilities to copy answers from the student in front of him, without considering the consequences. Lee-in's flippant denials infuriate the teacher, who demands to contact his parents. When Lee-in reveals he's an orphan and nearing graduation, the teacher remains unmoved. Lee-in angrily shouts back, provoking the teacher into physically disciplining him. Fortunately, the gym teacher intervenes. Dejected, Lee-in sits alone on the roof, considering calling his brother for help, but ultimately chooses to bear the burden himself. Before gym class, Lee-in's classmates inquire about Yi-in's background, hoping to befriend her. Yi-in goes to the rooftop, distraught, breathing heavily and eating candy to calm herself. The truth is, her family has suffered a great tragedy. Her father, the security guard from the apartment fire years ago, was wrongly convicted and imprisoned for 11 years. This has branded Yi-in as the daughter of a murderer, causing her to be ostracized. As Yi-in prepares to leave, Lee-in unexpectedly jumps from the roof. Expecting a stolen first kiss, Yi-in closes her eyes. Luckily, Lee-in grabs the railing, avoiding a collision. An angry Yi-in storms off. Lee-in tries to explain, but Yi-in remains unconvinced, still believing him to be a voyeur. Lee-in tells his friend he'll touch Yi-in to find more clues about the real voyeur to clear his name. His friend counters that such an act would make him look even more like a pervert. In math class, when students struggle with a difficult problem, the teacher calls on Yi-in. With a few simple steps, she solves it, earning praise from the teacher. Immediately after, the teacher criticizes Lee-in, highlighting his orphan status and lack of parental guidance. This angers Yi-in, who defends Lee-in, arguing that he couldn't have possibly cheated, and condemning the teacher's humiliating remarks about his background. Insulted, the teacher issues a challenge. If Yi-in finds the real culprit, he'll apologize to the entire class. If she fails, she'll be expelled. The deadline is the next math class, tomorrow. Later, in the restroom, Yi-in deeply regrets her impulsive actions. Lee-in, however, misinterprets her actions, believing Yi-in has feelings for him and followed him to help. In reality, Yi-in simply found the teacher obnoxious. Lee-in offers to help her investigate, initiating contact with his typically inappropriate touch. She ignores him and leaves. That night, Lee-in sneaks into the school to find evidence. Confidently using his psychic abilities, he touches the lock to find the combination, but can only see the first 2 numbers. Just as he's about to try opening it with his mouth, Yi-in appears behind him. With a single press, Yi-in unlocks the door, knowing the combination is the school's founding date. Rummaging around, Yi-in finds a drawer full of confiscated items. Lee-in reaches in, and Yi-in slams the drawer shut, trapping his hand. The resulting contact allows Lee-in to see a female student sneaking in earlier to steal something. His intense concentration causes a nosebleed, leaving Yi-in bewildered and reaching for a taser for self-defense. Continuing their search, Yi-in discovers answer sheets with pre-filled answers, leaving her confused. Lee-in suggests the earlier intruder wasn't after the answers, but something more important. As they search, the school security guard approaches, forcing them to hide. During this time, through touch, Lee-in sees fragments of Yi-in's memories, and the number 3.145 emerges unconsciously. Yi-in is surprised Lee and knows this number. It's her father's prison ID number. On their way home, she wonders how he knew. Noticing someone following them, she prepares to attack, only to find it's prosecutor Sung Mo. He reveals he's been sponsoring Yi-in's education since her orphanage days. Yi-in recognizes him as the prosecutor investigating the apartment fire, often seen on TV. It turns out they live in opposite high-rise buildings and can easily see each other. The next morning, to identify the culprit, Lee-in plans to lock all exits and trigger the fire alarm. He stands by the emergency exit, using his psychic abilities to see who stole the answers. The flood of memories overwhelms him, causing a nosebleed and collapsing. Nothing unusual happens, and everyone returns to school. The gym teacher scolds Lee-in for his prank. However, when they touch, Lee-in sees a memory of a girl in the gym teacher's mind. Lee-in tells his friend that a girl named So-hyun hid a pregnancy test in a yellow bag, which was confiscated by the math teacher. Fearing her pregnancy would be discovered, So-hyun sneaked into the teacher's office to retrieve it that night. Lee-in informs Yi-in he's found the culprit, but she stops him, unwilling to expose So-hyun and cause her further distress. Meanwhile, in the gymnasium, D-bong is fighting So-hyun's boyfriend, the father of her unborn child. In math class, the teacher insults Yi-in's family, calling her father a murderer. Enraged, Yi-in reveals the truth about the leaked answers. The math teacher provided answers to several wealthy students in exchange for bribes. The teacher tries to deny it, but a student involved confirms the story. Another student secretly recorded the event and posted it on the school's fan page. The next day, news of the math teacher's dismissal spreads, leaving Yi-in unsettled. Lee-in takes her to the rooftop to explain. He lies, claiming D-bong leaked the information, while he remained ignorant. Just as they're about to celebrate their successful case solving, they receive calls. The police have caught the real voyeur, clearing Lee-in's name. Yi-in realizes she misjudged Lee-in and wants to reconcile with a handshake. But with the voyeur caught, Lee-in is no longer interested in the gesture. That evening, Yi-in goes to the balcony to greet prosecutor Sung Mo, but notices Lee-in is also there and hides. She overhears a conversation between the Lee-in brothers, learning about Lee-in's psychic abilities. When discovered, Yi-in directly questions him about his power. Lee-in angrily claims to feel like a monster, but Yi-in considers his abilities a gift and needs his help. Later, Yi-in visits Lee-in's home and confides in him about his abilities. Lee-in mentions his hands as his most sensitive area, but Yi-in suggests his lips, leaning in for a kiss. He jolts awake, realizing it was a dream, filled with regret. Meanwhile, Yi-in contemplates Lee-in's powers, wondering if he can help clear her father's name, but quickly dismisses the thought. Meeting downstairs, Lee-in offers to help Yi-in find evidence to exonerate her father, but she angrily refuses to discuss it and leaves. The hospital fire witness, on their way to the prosecutor's office, is attacked. A mysterious figure in black sabotages their car and then assaults them with a hammer. After school, Yi-in works at a convenience store, followed by a mysterious figure in a black coat, the dismissed math teacher. He carries a bottle of strong acid, intending to attack Yi-in. Lee-in arrives just in time to stop him. Lee-in subdues the teacher, intending to make him taste his own medicine, but Yi-in intervenes. The terrified teacher is arrested. That night, prosecutor Sung Mo receives news that the hospital fire witness was brutally murdered. A strange chain wrapped around the victim's leg is left as a calling card. The next morning, Sung Mo reviews his files and discovers all the cases he's handling are connected to a single perpetrator, linked to the fire 11 years ago. At school, Yi-in's classmates confront her about the lies she told about her father and herself. Embarrassed, she coldly walks away. Memories of the school flood back, overwhelming her. She cries on the rooftop, and Lee-in finds her and comforts her. Yi-in explains she uses paper bags to breathe when feeling overwhelmed. Lee-in reveals Sung Mo abandoned him at an orphanage as a child, shaping his violent and cruel childhood. While hating his abilities and Sung Mo's actions, Lee-in decides to accept his powers. Yi-in struggles to accept her father as a murderer. She fears confronting this truth, but Li An offers comfort and support, promising to wait until she's ready. The next morning, a major incident occurred. Li An was late for school and climbed over the wall to get in. Someone had spray painted "Yi In is the daughter of a murderer" on the wall, causing widespread confusion. Li An examined the discarded spray can and discovered it belonged to the math teacher, who was seeking revenge. He frantically searched for Yi In everywhere, but couldn't find her. Returning to Yi In's apartment, he realized she had moved out without a trace. He saw a childhood photo of Yi In and suddenly recognized her as the little girl he had given candy to and comforted 11 years earlier. Li An was heartbroken by Yi In's departure, hoping to find her someday. 2 years passed. Li An had matured into a handsome young man, driving a stylish red car. His best friend, Dibong, owned a gas station in the city. Li An then took a law school entrance exam. He considered using his psychic abilities to cheat off the person in front of him, but his conscience prevented him. He was reprimanded by the proctor and asked to leave the examination room. Looking up, he was shocked to see that the proctor was Yi In. Their eyes met, sparks flying. This time, Yi In said she wouldn't run away again. Later, they reunited in the parking lot. Memories of high school flooded back, a short but deeply impactful period in both their lives. They strolled through the park. Yi In chided Li An, "You didn't even try on the exam and expect to eat." Li An was surprised to learn that after 2 years, Yi In had joined the police academy, while he had spent the past 2 years honing his psychic abilities to assist investigators. With little progress, he only saw nonsense. That evening, on their way home, the two brothers went out to eat. Sung Mo shared a lot about Li An's academic journey and exams. Upon arriving home, their police officer friend, Jai Su, was waiting with plenty of alcohol. Sung Mo had since moved to a more spacious apartment. During their drinking session, Li An mentioned finding Yi In, now working at the super police department. The next morning, Li An went to the police station to find Yi In, but she wasn't there. No officer by that name existed. It turned out Yi In was interning at the Coin Community Center, a building within the police precinct's area. Yi In's daily work involved handling minor issues, mostly related to children and elderly people in the neighborhood. Li An found the center and reunited with Yi In. She was still striving to become a full-fledged police officer, hoping to one day reinvestigate her father's case and clear his name. As they talked, they received news that a young girl named Ju An had disappeared. She was on the missing persons list, prompting a search. Li An and Yi In rushed to the bridge and found Ju An's toy in the river. Upon touching it, Li An sensed something bad had happened. He stated that she had been kidnapped and locked in a black suitcase. While they worried, the girl suddenly appeared, walking with her grandmother. This made Yi In question Li An's psychic abilities. However, Li An's intuition was accurate. Nearby, police discovered a suitcase containing a corpse. Police secured the scene and began their investigation. Officer Yoon met Yi In. To save time, Yi In deduced that the suitcase had drifted down from the Upper Han River and become lodged in this area. The victim had died 4 or 5 years prior, causing gases to build up, pushing the suitcase to the surface and carrying it downstream. The police were impressed by Yi In's insightful deduction. During the investigation, police discovered the victim was a woman named Seo Kyung, approximately 40 years old. The perpetrator's method mirrored a previous case, leading them to suspect a connection between the victims. The police chief assigned Sung Mo to the case, demanding a swift resolution. That evening, on their way back to Central Seoul, Li An and Yi In talked. They unexpectedly encountered Sung Mo waiting for them. In the distance, a mysterious masked figure was watching them, possibly the real culprit. The next morning, a dispute between two women erupted in a residential area near Central Seoul. Li An and Yi In were dispatched to resolve the situation. Using his psychic abilities, Li An discovered a clue. Someone had used rocks to smash the car window. He then touched and saw into the past of young Ju An, who was crying nearby. It turned out that a guest who had visited their home had been difficult with Ju An's mother, prompting Ju An to retaliate by damaging the guest's car. Lee An comforted and persuaded Ju and to acknowledge her mistake. She and her mother apologized to the guest, and the matter was resolved peacefully. The next morning was Lee An's parents' Memorial Day. While retrieving his car to go to the memorial service, Lee An was followed by a mysterious masked figure. Later, this person went up to Lee An's and his brother's apartment, 614, carrying a mysterious box. At the cemetery, Lee An ran into Sung Mo, who was also visiting his mother's grave. The brothers shared their experiences, hoping their parents would rest peacefully in heaven. After leaving the cemetery, the brothers met Yi In. Sung Mo offered to help Lee and develop his psychic abilities, promising to nominate Yi In for the Violent Crimes Unit, her long-held ambition. However, Yi In asked for time to consider, as she needed to accumulate points to become a full-fledged police officer. Yi In patrolled the area day and night looking for violations, but only encountered humorous situations. One time, at a crime scene by the river, Yi In found Lee An frantically searching for clues, even bleeding from his nose. Afterward, Lee An asked Yi In about her offer to help him develop his psychic abilities. He also returned the shoe she had dropped while running to find her father the moment Lee An's powers first manifested. From then on, they both committed to solving cases to make the most of these extraordinary abilities. That evening, on their way home, Lee An encountered Sung Mo and insisted on accompanying him to investigate the suitcase case. Sung Mo refused, but Lee An stubbornly followed in his car. En route, he noticed a truck constantly tailing Sung Mo's vehicle. Lee An decided to follow the truck. When it pulled into a deserted lot, he got out to investigate and was suddenly attacked from behind by the mysterious figure. The assailant stabbed Lee An in the stomach. However, upon contact, Lee An's psychic abilities activated. He saw many memories, learning that this mysterious figure had been watching Sung Mo for a long time. Locals found Lee An unconscious, forcing the mysterious figure to flee. He was quickly rushed to the hospital. There, Lee An managed to provide the information he had gathered to Sung Mo and Officer Jai Su. Both were disturbed and suspected the mysterious figure was connected to the Ion Seong apartment building case from 11 years prior. At the hospital, Lee An regained consciousness, and a nurse informed him that his surgery was a success. That night, the mysterious figure returned to the hospital where Lee An was recovering. Sensing someone entering the room, Lee An wrapped the curtains around the intruder. It was Yi In, visiting to see him. She decided to teach Lee An how to develop his psychic abilities, much to his delight. Her goal was for Lee An to reach a level where he could help her clear her father's name in the apartment building case from years ago. Meanwhile, in the investigations department, police discovered that the victim, Kang Hee-suk, had actually died 5 years earlier. The body found in the suitcase was an impersonator. Therefore, the investigation team split up to gather more information. Having agreed to help Lee An enhance his psychic abilities, Sung Mo gave Yi In Lee An's journal, detailing his development, for her to study. Sung Mo stated that his training would end when Lee An could read Sung Mo's own thoughts. The next morning, Yi In visited her father in prison. He was proud that she had become a police officer, but not wanting her to struggle to clear his name. He took full responsibility for the crime, urging her to stop the investigation. The following morning, Lee An was discharged, and his best friend, Di Bong, picked him up. They went to a popular restaurant, and Di Bong was happy to see his crush working there. To develop his abilities, Lee An and Yi In went to the library to search for books on psychic abilities and detective work. While reading, the librarian caught a girl attempting to steal a book and intended to punish her. However, the girl claimed she hadn't taken it, and someone had deliberately placed it in her backpack. Lee An and Yi In intervened. Using his psychic abilities, Lee An discovered that someone with red nail polish was the culprit. After searching, they found a classmate of the girl's who, out of jealousy, had framed her. The matter was resolved peacefully, and the girl thanked them for clearing her name. Meanwhile, to gather more information about the body in the black suitcase, Sung Mo went on television, announcing the victim's identity. He urged anyone with information about the victim's family to contact the prosecutor's office to assist with the investigation. That night, to demonstrate his psychic abilities, Lee An took Yi into the morgue. asking Officer Jai-soo to let them test his abilities on the corpses. Since Lee An had failed 10 previous attempts, Jai-soo wanted him to try his abilities on Kang Hee-suk's body, as she had died 2 years earlier. Lee An only sensed the impersonator. Jai-soo wanted to quickly identify the real killer, but Yi-in objected to Lee An using this method, requesting a review of the entire case file. While Yi-in was retrieving the files, Jai-soo encountered Sung-mo in the elevator. He revealed that Yi-in's father was the culprit in the apartment building case 11 years ago. She was stunned. Afterward, the three reviewed and discussed the case files. Unable to wait for Sung-mo, Jai-soo urged Lee An to perform his psychic abilities on the victim's body. Lee An made contact and saw the scene before the victim's death. The victim had been brutally beaten with a hammer. He clearly saw the perpetrator's face, a man, along with a pile of files. Lee An recognized the killer as Kim Gab-yong, baffling Jai-soo. Kim Gab-yong was a witness in the arson case and had been killed to eliminate him as a potential witness. Lee An suffered a terrible headache and fainted, causing both women to worry greatly. At the same time, Yi-in's father, unable to bear the injustice, committed suicide by hanging himself in prison. Back at the morgue, Lee An awoke, and they realized that Kim Gab-yong had been hired by someone else to commit the crime and was subsequently murdered to eliminate him as a witness. His previous statements had been lies. Waiting for the bus afterward, Yi-in felt shocked and deeply distressed. Luckily, Lee An was there to comfort her, holding her close. They hailed a taxi and rushed to the prison. Upon reaching the prison hospital, they were relieved to find her father still alive. He wanted to let go, stating that his crimes were too great and didn't want her to waste her time on him. However, Yi-in refused to give up, vowing to clear his name. That evening, Lee An returned home. Upon touching the doorknob, he sensed someone had previously broken in. Lee An calmly checked the apartment, but everything seemed intact. He went to the security room to request camera footage, but the entire system had been undergoing maintenance and there was no data. Returning to their apartment, the brothers discovered that a photo of Sung-mo and his mother had been stolen. Sung-mo revealed that he had left Lee An and South Korea to escape someone, but this time, he was determined to kill that person to avenge their past conflict. Meanwhile, Sung-mo received a file from his secretary containing numerous crime notes belonging to Kim Gab-yong. A meeting was called to announce that Kim Gab-yong was the murderer who had hidden the body in the suitcase. Furthermore, he was also the head of an illegal human trafficking ring operating under the guise of a recruitment agency called Dragon Employment. Sung-mo instructed everyone to quickly gather more evidence to apprehend the organization as soon as possible. At the library, Yi-in informed Lee An about the clue regarding Dragon Employment's purchase of the victims' identities. She wanted him to investigate with her. They drove to the agency's center and posed as job applicants. In the waiting room, a recruiter approached them, gathering their personal information. When Yi-in mentioned they had outstanding credit card debt, the recruiter was thrilled, believing them to be easy targets. He offered them drinks, but upon touching the bottle, Lee An saw that they had added a dangerous powder. Feeling unsafe, they tried to leave discreetly, but the recruiter spotted them on security cameras. He realized they were undercover investigators and ordered his men to eliminate them. Without hesitation, they fought back, taking down the men one by one. In a moment of carelessness, Yi-in was attacked. The recruiter, taking advantage of Lee An's distraction, pulled out a knife to attack him, but Lee An subdued him and restrained him. Using the recruiter as a shield, Lee An and Yi-in retreated towards the elevator to escape. As the elevator doors opened, a police force inside burst out to subdue the remaining perpetrators. Backup forces, including Jai-soo, quickly arrived, creating chaos at the agency. As Lee An and Yi-in attempted to escape via the stairs, they encountered Sung-mo heading up, forcing them to flee to the rooftop. After escaping, Yi-in explained to Lee An why she wouldn't run away anymore. Taking this opportunity, she asked Lee An to use his psychic abilities to read her past. Yi-in extended her hand for him to sense her memories. However, seizing the moment, Lee An unexpectedly kissed her. Earlier, Sung Mo had reported Dragon Employment's shady activities to the police chief and requested assistance in dismantling the criminal network. Law enforcement and Sung Mo's team arrived in time to arrest the criminals and bring them to the station. Returning to the rooftop with Li An and Yi In's psychic story, he unexpectedly kissed her, leaving Yi In astonished. Taking this opportunity, Li An confessed his feelings to Yi In, explaining that all his reasons for following and protecting her, as well as his entire training process, were pretexts to be by her side. However, when asked what he psychically perceived, he admitted he was only focused on Yi In and saw nothing. Yi In blushed crimson, realizing this smooth-talking man had tricked her. As they were about to leave the building, they were discovered by investigator Jai Su, but fortunately, they were safe, so she let them go without further investigation. Afterward, the three of them went out for a pleasant dinner. Li An then took Yi In home, unaware that Sung Mo was watching them from afar, and the mysterious figure was also observing everything from a nearby rooftop. The next morning, while preparing for work, Sung Mo discovered that the camera in front of his house had been tampered with by the mysterious figure, who was watching him from somewhere. The mysterious figure revealed their face, observing Sung Mo through a phone screen. Neither knew what secrets were at play. Later, in the interrogation room, investigator Jai Su questioned the intermediary, Mr. Ndu, about the murder case and those involved. From his evasive testimony, she suspected prosecutor Sung Mo had some connection to the case. Subsequently, in her office, Jai Su questioned Sung Mo, suspecting he had intentionally implicated the murderer, Kim Gap Yong, as a witness and stolen security video evidence. However, Sung Mo presented the camera the mysterious figure had installed in front of his house to prove his innocence, and he also urged Jai Su to withdraw from the case to avoid future danger. Meanwhile, Yi In called Li An to inform him of the next training location, his house. The diligent young man had meticulously cleaned his home and prepared everything to welcome Yi In. There, Li An told Yi In about the mysterious figure's break-in a few days earlier and the deep-seated feud between Sung Mo and this individual. They then went to Sung Mo's room to train, but Li An couldn't sense anything there. So, they moved to Li An's room, but his abilities were equally unproductive. That evening, Yi In returned to the supercenter and was informed that the CCTV system had been sabotaged. Inside, she found a stranger in her aunt's art class, the mysterious figure who had been following them. Meanwhile, Li An was trying to psychically access Sung Mo's past through his mother's gift a dictionary and successfully read it, seeing a memory of Sung Mo with his mother. Li An rushed to the center to share his achievement with Yi In, encountering the mysterious figure at the entrance, but failing to recognize him. They went to the park to talk under a romantic snowfall. While standing hand in hand, watching the snow fall, Yi In firmly grasped Li An's hand, and all their shared memories flooded his mind. Without hesitation, Li An passionately kissed Yi In the falling snow. He even gallantly knelt down to tie her shoelaces. He said he didn't want Yi In to avoid her past, to run away, or cry alone, because now he was there for her. Li An wanted Yi In to entrust all her painful past to him, and from now on, he would only create happy memories for her. Afterward, Li An saw Yi In home, the entire scene observed from afar by Sung Mo. Sung Mo then returned to his office, reviewing security footage and discovering the mysterious figure's whereabouts and clothing changes. He went to the interrogation room to question the intermediary because he learned that before dying, Kim Gap Yong had called the intermediary, asking him to bring a woman named Kim Song Hai to safety. However, when the intermediary arrived to pick her up, she had disappeared from the hospital without a trace. That night, upon returning to his apartment, Li An boasted to Sung Mo that he had read a fragment of a memory from Sung Mo's dictionary, a memory of Sung Mo studying with his mother. This proved Li An's training was effective, making them both very happy. The next morning, a press conference was held announcing the apprehension of the suitcase murder suspect and the dismantling of the Dragon Company's human trafficking and fraud ring. That day, Li An and Yi In rested and relaxed after many days of strenuous training. They went to a toy store and created items they liked. Meanwhile, at the forensic department, Jai Su and her colleague discovered a crucial clue about the woman named Kim Song Hai, and they were puzzled that prosecutor Sung Mo had hidden this lead. Sung Mo, who was at the security office, had taken a map showing the location of surveillance cameras in the investigation area. He followed the map to a small alley to investigate clues about the mysterious person. He passed places where that person had been and the road he had taken, leading ultimately to the COA center. Meanwhile, at the forensics department, Dr. Hong and Jai-soo discovered that the mysterious woman described by the previous witness was Sung Mo's mother. At this point, Jai-soo suddenly realized that the body found by the police in the fire 11 years ago was not Sung Mo's mother, and that she might still be alive under the name Kim Song-hee. Meanwhile, after their outing, Lee-in took Yi-in home and gave her a gift. Yi-in opened it to find a Christmas tree model that Lee-in had made using her memories. This reminded her of memories of her father, deeply moving her. She ran outside and hugged Lee-in tightly. However, while wiping Yi-in's tears, Lee-in read her memory of the fire 11 years ago. He was extremely shocked to realize that Yi-in's father was Yoon Tae-ha, the suspect in the arson murder case. Just then, it started raining. Yi-in tried to explain that her father had been framed, but Lee-in didn't believe her, unable to accept the truth. Lee-in thought Yi-in was using him, so he left. Yi-in tried to chase after him, grasping Lee-in's hand, but to no avail. Under the night rain, Lee-in walked away alone. Against the flow of people, with a deeply troubled mind, he tried to hide his sadness and his psychic abilities, not wanting to read anyone else's secrets anymore. Yi-in, meanwhile, returned home, deeply saddened because she was truly innocent. Scene change, Jai-soo took a photo of Sung Mo's mother to find a witness who had worked with Sung Mo's mother recently to confirm her identity. From the witness's recounted memories, she was certain she had met her at the hospital. Through the collected clues, Jai-soo realized that Sung Mo had known his mother was alive from the beginning and had tried to hide the truth during the investigation. Afterward, Jai-soo met her father at the police station. She said the Eoneo apartment fire 11 years ago, the Hanman Center case, and the suitcase murder case were all connected because her father had been negligent in the Eoneo apartment case. Despite her father's attempts to stop her, Jai-soo then received a call from a colleague informing her that Sung Mo had submitted his resignation that morning without stating a reason, leaving her very confused and wondering about his intentions. The next morning, while on patrol, Yi-in almost hit a pedestrian crossing the street, injuring her leg. At the hospital, Yi-in met her friend So-hyun, who was also there. Afterward, they went out drinking at their old gym teacher's restaurant. Lee-in, meanwhile, was weeping at his parents' grave, facing the truth that the girl he liked was the daughter of the person who had caused his parents' deaths. That night, while looking at the music box Lee-in had given her, Yi-in received a call from Jai-soo. Yi-in recounted her last meeting with prosecutor Sung Mo, where he confirmed that Yi-in's father was not the culprit in the Eoneo case, but someone else. However, he can't speak about it yet, and will clarify it as soon as possible. Jai-soo also revealed that Sung Mo's mother is still alive, and that Yi-in's presence is crucial for Lee-in's stability. Therefore, Yi-in rushed to find Lee-in. While going outside, she accidentally encountered the mysterious man. At home, Lee-in discovered documents Sung Mo had intentionally left behind, and using his psychic abilities, he uncovered Sung Mo's secret. Sensing something was wrong with Yi-in, Lee-in immediately drove to the CON center to find her. Upon arrival, Lee-in didn't find Yi-in but only discovered her dropped phone nearby. Yi-in had been captured by the mysterious man and tied up in a terrifying water tank. Lee-in used his psychic abilities to read Yi-in's dropped phone, seeing that it was all the mysterious man's doing. Furthermore, he had encountered him at this very CON center. Meanwhile, Yi-in regained consciousness, finding herself tightly bound and unable to move. She recalled colliding with a man, being attacked with a drug, and kidnapped. She also realized she had met this man at the CON center, and in the past, before the fire. It turned out the mysterious man was Sung Mo's father, and he was plotting revenge, kidnapping Yi-in. She recognized him as the one who had taken her father's coat that year and framed him for the fire. He was also the one who had stabbed Lee-in and followed Sung Mo all along. He pulled out a hammer and approached Yi-in, intending to kill her in the water tank. Lee-in, outside, frantically searched for Yi-in's location. He searched everywhere in the area, hoping to find even the smallest clue Yi In might have left, but despaired at finding nothing. A colleague at the Seoul Center wanted to stop him, but Li An was determined to find Yi In, even the smallest clue. At this point, police forces had blocked off the roads, so when the mysterious man tried to escape by car, he disguised himself and tricked the police at the checkpoint. As he was leaving, they received CCTV footage of the culprit, identifying him as the man who had just left. The police immediately pursued him. Yi In, meanwhile, struggled in the water tank, flailing helplessly. After searching for a while, Li In found where Yi In was imprisoned, but the door was locked tight, making it impossible to enter. After fumbling for a while, Li In managed to break the lock and burst into the warehouse. He arrived just in time to rescue Yi In before the rising water drowned her. Yi In was safe and taken to the hospital by ambulance. Li In stayed by her side, extremely worried about her health. Meanwhile, the police found the culprit's car, but he had escaped. The next morning at the hospital, Yi In was stable, and Li In stayed by her side. Using his psychic abilities, he saw the entire sequence of events when the mysterious man attacked her, as well as the truth that he had caused the fire 13 years ago, not Yi In's father. A moment later, Yi In woke up and saw Li In beside her, holding her hand, making her very happy. Yi In recounted the entire truth about how the mysterious man had harmed her and her father. All misunderstandings were cleared up, and Li An and Yi In reconciled. Afterward, investigator Jai Soo arrived to exchange some information. Li An revealed that the culprit had committed all the crimes because Sung Mo's mother had been tormented by him during Sung Mo's childhood, and that's why Sung Mo wanted revenge so much. Scene change. After Yi In was discharged from the hospital, she returned to the CO Center. Investigator Jai Soo was also transferred to this center to continue the investigation. They later went to an abandoned ironworks to search for more clues, as it was the first place Sung Mo and his mother had lived during their childhood. Following someone's footprints, along with Li and psychic abilities, they found an old room at the ironworks. They discovered a hidden trapdoor behind a cupboard. This was the cellar where the mysterious man had imprisoned Sung Mo and his mother for 9 years during their childhood. Li An and Yi In followed the path down to the cellar and discovered a terrifying prison below. Jai Soo also arrived and revealed that this was where Sung Mo had been imprisoned until he was 9 years old. She was shocked by this harsh reality and empathized with Sung Mo's fate. Li An continued to use his psychic abilities to look into the past, learning about the mysterious man's crimes and how Sung Mo and his mother had struggled to survive there. Meanwhile, Jai Soo went to the local police station to find more clues about the case. The case from years ago had remained unsolved because the culprit's identity couldn't be confirmed, and the file only contained a sketch of the man, Kang Jun-tae, identified by a long scar on his neck. The collected evidence had been taken by the victim's son, none other than prosecutor Sung Mo. Through the file, Jai Soo also discovered that Sung Mo suffered from alexithymia due to an unhappy childhood with his father, inherited from his father himself. Inside the cellar, Li An, using all his psychic abilities, tried to process Sung Mo's painful memories, causing him to faint. Fortunately, Yi In and Jai Soo woke him up. Later, during lunch, Jai Soo revealed that the mysterious man, Sung Mo's father, was an illegal citizen, so there was no information available for investigation. Afterward, the group returned to the center and began connecting the information from the various cases. They realized the mysterious man was the culprit in all the cases they were investigating, including the arson murder years ago. Yi In's father had been wrongly accused because Jai Soo's father, who was in charge of the Eoneo case that year, had caused Yi In's father to go to prison. Lieutenant Nam wanted Jai Soo to reconsider reopening the case, but Jai Soo was determined to investigate thoroughly and wanted her father to take responsibility for his actions. Scene change. Yi In and Li An returned to the apartment to search through the case files Sung Mo had left behind for more clues. Before Li An could help, he fell asleep. In his dream, he saw Sung Mo stabbing the mysterious man in the cellar. The next morning at the CO Center, after investigating and closing the file, Yi In and Li An discovered that Kang Jun-tae's current hideout might be at an abandoned subway station. because Jai-soo had requested to withdraw from the case and her colleague took over. Yi-in and Lee-en immediately departed for the Zhe-kai-rong station, the suspected hideout of the mysterious man. This tunnel had been used to imprison homeless children for human trafficking purposes and had previously been raided by Song-ho. Sung-mo had also come to this station to search for the mysterious man. Yi-in and Lee-en followed the tunnel to the abandoned station and discovered some evidence left by the mysterious man. When Jai-soo learned that the two were at the abandoned station, she rushed there to assist, knowing the danger involved. Lee-en found a photo of Sung-mo's mother in an egg carton and, using his psychic abilities, saw that Sung-mo had a very dangerous plan. Suddenly, a figure in black appeared, causing both of them to flinch. Noticing them, the figure in black hurriedly left, dropping the murder weapon. But Lee-en's psychic abilities revealed it was Sung-mo's mother. Yi-in caught up and subdued her. Lee-en then realized the egg carton and the photo they found belonged to Song-yu, not the mysterious man. Not only that, they had gone to the wrong location. In fact, Sung-mo was at the opposite station, Gakengok. At Gakengok Station, Sung-mo confronted his father, the mysterious man Kang Jun-tae. Jai-soo was nearby, arriving simultaneously and calling Lieutenant Nam for backup. Inside, Sung-mo was moving into his father's ambush. His father, outside, continuously applied psychological pressure on Sung-mo. When a smoke bomb was thrown, creating chaos, the father unexpectedly attacked, successfully wounding Sung-mo. Sung-mo, however, anticipated this and retaliated, stabbing him in the stomach. His father blocked the blow. As the two engaged in a fierce struggle, Jai-soo arrived and fired a warning shot into the air, attempting to stop the fight. However, Sung-mo, consumed by rage, only wanted to kill his father. The father managed to escape, quickly stabbing Jai-soo fatally in the stomach. Sung-mo rushed to hold Jai-soo, who only managed a few words before fainting from blood loss. Gon-tae, contributing nothing to the plot, fled the scene, only to be encountered by Lee-en during his escape. Lee-en relentlessly pursued him, but lost him at the end of the station. Following his intuition, Lee-en ran to an abandoned train tunnel and found Gon-tae there. He subdued him and delivered many punches for the harm he had inflicted on the victims. All the memories of Gon-tae's crimes were replayed in Lee-en's mind, fueling his rage with each blow. Lee-en also realized Sung-mo had some connection to the arson case and wanted to question Gon-tae, but Lieutenant Nam's police force arrived, subduing and arresting him. At the hospital, doctors were desperately trying to save Jai-soo, who was in critical condition. Outside, Sung-mo was extremely worried. Lee-en arrived at the hospital just as Sung-mo was being taken away, preventing them from seeing each other. On the way to the station, the murderer Gon-tae took advantage of the opportunity, broke his handcuffs, and escaped from the police at the hospital. After an unsuccessful surgery, the doctor announced Jai-soo's death, shocking everyone, including Lee-en. Lee-en returned home, reflecting on the memories he had seen while in contact with Gon-tae. Lee-en immediately went to Sung-mo's room and, through his psychic abilities, realized that Sung-mo had intentionally misled them from the beginning, diverting the investigation. Sung-mo knew everything but arranged to deceive Lee-en, exploiting his abilities to discover the source. Therefore, Lee-en and Yi-in went to the interrogation room to directly confront Sung-mo's mother, Kang Young-do. After some persuasion, Lieutenant Nam agreed to let them in for questioning. Yi-in took charge of talking to Sung-mo's mother. Through empathy, Yi-in persuaded her to tell the whole truth about how she escaped Gon-tae. He was the murderer who killed many people at the health center previously. However, Lee-in sensed something mysterious about Sung-mo's mother's testimony, as if she was hiding a greater truth. The interrogation ended. Taking advantage of the moment when Sung-mo's mother was being escorted back to her cell, Lee-in made contact and used his psychic abilities to see her memories. From this, he learned that she had lied about the fire at the Eoneo apartment complex and the Hanman Health Center. The truth was that Jun-tae was not the arsonist. All suspicion now fell on Sung-mo's mother. Lee-en was extremely shocked by this revelation. Meanwhile, Sung-mo found his father's hideout. When Gon-tae tried to escape, he stepped on a trap Sung-mo had set beforehand, and he stood still, ready to be arrested again. Back at the station, Sung Mo's mother continued to deny Sung Mo's involvement, infuriating Li An. But Yi In and Lieutenant Nam prevented a fight. Afterward, Li An went to the morgue where Jai Su lay. Using his psychic abilities, he revisited their happy memories and felt Jai Su's pain before her death, causing Li An even more suffering. Afterwards, Yi In encountered Li An outside and comforted him, lifting his spirits. The scene shifts to a house where Sung Mo captured his father and tortured him in the same way his father had tortured him as a child, an act of revenge for his unhappy childhood. The next morning, Yi In held a press conference announcing the warrant for the arrest of the dangerous murderer, causing a media frenzy. Simultaneously, prosecutor Sung Mo was also issued an arrest warrant for his involvement in the investigation. Li An once again sought Sung Mo's mother, hoping she would reveal the truth, but she stubbornly continued to protect her son and remained silent. The investigation reached a dead end, but Li An and Yi In found a clue. Li An went home, retrieved Sung Mo's passport, and compared it with police records, discovering that Sung Mo and his mother had fled to Canada for a period of time before suddenly returning to South Korea without fear. It turned out that Sung Mo was the VIP that Kim Gap-young had mentioned, and he had hired him to kill 2 people to obtain new identities for him and his mother in South Korea and China. Meanwhile, Yi In and her colleagues extracted CCTV footage and discovered Sung Mo's movements the previous day. After evaluating and narrowing down the possibilities, they located Sung Mo's hiding place and immediately went there. However, upon arrival, the room was empty, devoid of any trace. Li An then used his psychic abilities to glimpse into the past of that room. Simultaneously, outside, Yi In and Lieutenant Nam discovered evidence Sung Mo had left in the trash after eating. After a period of psychic investigation, a map was discovered. With the police force, they narrowed down 2 suspected areas where Sung Mo might be hiding. The team split up to search the 2 areas, and Li An's team chose the Kujang Hospital. After arriving at the hospital, the 3 searched every room but found no one. Using his psychic abilities, Li An discovered that after capturing Jun Ti, Sung Mo had moved him to another location for confinement. The next morning, Jai Su's funeral took place, and everyone attended to offer condolences. Sung Mo also attended, recalling beautiful memories of the 2 of them together. Subsequently, Sung Mo voluntarily went to the police station to give a statement, surprising everyone. He asked Li An to give his mother his commemorative ring. Meanwhile, Yi In proceeded to interrogate Sung Mo, presenting all the evidence against him in several cases. He didn't deny the events of the past, but objected to the use of Li An's psychic abilities as evidence, as it lacked official recognition and couldn't be proven. Sung Mo couldn't be confirmed as the mastermind of the events due to a lack of concrete evidence, leaving the police and Li An helpless. Sung Mo was released. Li An, furious, stopped Sung Mo to question him as he was leaving, and grabbed his hand, and through touch, Li An saw the entire scene of Sung Mo torturing Jun Ti again. But because it was only Li An's perception, he helplessly watched Sung Mo leave. Sung Mo then went to his mother's jail cell. The mother and son had a conversation. The mother realized that in order to ensure their safety, Sung Mo had resorted to any means necessary, and now he was a completely changed person. The scene shifts to Li An encountering Sung Mo and his mother at an apartment. He made contact with Sung Mo and immediately saw the image of where Sung Mo was holding Jun Ti. This time, Sung Mo didn't try to avoid Li An and wanted to talk privately. Li An gave Sung Mo a punch to the mouth for his actions. Sung Mo didn't blame Li An but didn't reveal Jun Ti's location. Li An, however, understood that Jun Ti wasn't dead and set out to find clues himself. At the apartment, Sung Mo's mother apologized to Yi In for the incident at the Eon Zenon apartment complex that led to her father's wrongful imprisonment. She deeply regretted her actions and hoped for Yi In's forgiveness. Yi In refused, stating that time would be the most painful punishment for what she had done. Li An, following clues from his psychic visions and maps provided by Di Bong, identified 3 suspected locations. They investigated these locations and discovered that Sung Mo hadn't been there. He had been overlooking them from above. After analyzing and narrowing down the locations on the map, they found the place they needed to go. While searching, they received a call reporting a body found in the Han River, suspected to be Jun T. When Lian went to the morgue to use his psychic abilities, he confirmed it wasn't Jun T. However, that evening, the media reported that the body found that morning was Jun T's. The police and the prosecutor's office wanted to close the case quickly because the Eon Xenon apartment complex incident involved a construction industry scandal and bribery by high-ranking officials. The prosecutor's office wanted Dr. Hong to sign a death certificate confirming the body was Jun T to swiftly conclude the case, but she refused. The entire conversation was recorded by Dr. Hong and Yi In as evidence. During the discussion, Lieutenant Nam received news that they had lost track of Sung Mo, so the team quickly split up to search the suspected areas where Jun T was being held to clarify the case. The police and Li En's team searched all night without finding the location. The next morning, while standing on the rooftop of a building, Li En and Yi In suddenly realized that Sung Mo was holding Jun T in the old Eon apartment complex. The entire force quickly approached and surrounded the suspected apartment. They finally found Jun T lying immobile on the floor, but still alive. Emergency medical services quickly arrived and took Jun T away. As they left, Lian unintentionally saw a fragment of Sung Mo's past in that apartment on the day of the fire. It turned out that Sung Mo was the perpetrator from the beginning, and he had orchestrated everything to appear as an accidental incident to deceive the investigating police. Li En, feeling the pain of the victims and partly due to overexerting his abilities, collapsed from exhaustion. Fortunately, Yi In discovered this and immediately requested emergency medical assistance. She performed CPR to revive Li En, and after a while, he regained consciousness. He told Yi In that his brother, Sung Mo, was responsible for the murders in the apartment complex. Saying this, Li En immediately wanted to find Sung Mo to clarify everything. He sensed Sung Mo was nearby and rushed to find him. The two brothers reunited in an apartment with a mix of emotions. There, Sung Mo confessed to all the crimes he had committed that year in the apartment complex. Jun T had only planned the crime. Sung Mo was the one who carried it out. He knew he had done wrong but couldn't stop. Saving Li En from the fire at that time was unintentional. This answer seemed unacceptable to Li En. At that moment, Yi In and the police force stormed the location, and Sung Mo surrendered without resistance. Prosecutor Sung Mo was arrested. In the interrogation room, he confessed to all the crimes he committed. He also expressed no regret for what he did to Jun T, believing it was what he deserved. That evening, while reviewing evidence, Yi In unexpectedly discovered a recording of a conversation between Sung Mo and the director of the prosecutor's office. It turned out that the director was involved in an illegal bribery case and was blackmailed by Sung Mo, who possessed evidence recorded in a ledger. The director had offered to release Sung Mo in exchange for the ledger. However, in the interrogation room, Sung Mo chose to confess and did not hand over the ledger. As a final request, Sung Mo asked Yi In to apologize to Li En for destroying his past, present, and future. When Li En received this message from Yi In, he suddenly realized it was a clue. The apology was also the name of a painting Sung Mo had in his bedroom. When Li En took the painting down, he discovered a file hidden behind it. This was the ledger detailing the bribery of several high-ranking officials. He immediately took the ledger to the police headquarters for investigation. However, he couldn't simply bring this evidence to light because the official's power would make it disappear in a second. Yi In suggested enlisting the influence of the police chief. After some persuasion, he agreed to help expose the truth. The next morning, a press conference was held. The police chief admitted to all the mistakes in the cases and resigned to take full responsibility. He also promised to provide evidence to contribute to the investigation so that such mistakes would not be repeated in the future. After this information was released, the media went into a frenzy, and officials were arrested one after another for investigation. Afterwards, Yi In went to the prison to visit her father and informed him that the old case would be retried. Yi In's father thanked her for her tireless efforts to clear his name. The scene shifts to Jun T's interrogation. He stubbornly refused to admit guilt in the murders of the victims. The only way to get him a lengthy sentence was to bring Sung Mo's mother to court to testify about his actions. The next day, Jun Ti's trial took place. He stubbornly refused to confess until Sung Mo's mother appeared and testified about all his crimes. Finally, after considering all the crimes committed, the court sentenced Jun Ti to death, ending the life of a psychopathic murderer. Sung Mo's trial followed. Due to his premeditated crimes, the court sentenced Sung Mo to 13 years in prison for various charges, a fitting punishment for his actions. Time passed quickly. A year later, Li An and Yi In were happily together. The Central Police Force continued to investigate and solve cases. Li An visited Sung Mo in prison. Sung Mo regretted his crimes and missed his younger brother. At the Forensic Analysis Department, Dr. Hong was going abroad for a long time and left her forensic examination position to Li An. She also asked Yi In to help train Li An's psychic abilities, which improved day by day. Li An bought a house on installment and started a new life with Yi In, leaving behind the worries of the past and retaining only beautiful memories.